Today I want to tell you about Russian traditional folk characters. For example, in Western culture there are fairies, mermaids with tails and all that stuff. And of course in Russian culture we have our own characters. Many of them are typical or close to the whole Slavic culture, or even to some Western characters, but still there are some difference, and I like to concentrate on Russian traditional characters from folks and fairy tales. So let's begin. The first character I'd like to tell about, named Chort. I decided to start with that character because I would call him a Russian variant of devil. In Russian ancient traditions we don't have some kind of devil or Lucifer or some big main figure who is opposite to such a big figure as God, because in Russian traditions before there were many gods, and I talk about ancient Russia, so there was no one big figure of God, and I guess that's why there was no one big figure of devil, but the most close figure to devil is Chort. I read about the definition of the name, and the one variant was that Chort came from word chorny, which means black in Russian, but that was not really 100% correct variant, and the other version was that from some ancient Russian words, Chort means evil or something like this. Chort is a male character. Usually it's some not really high black guy, halfly goat, halfly man, I don't know, maybe some anthropomorph goat with horns, with hooves. So he walks on two legs and he walks with hooves, but he also has hands. Sometimes he's got a big nose and arrow-shaped tail, but it depends. Chort usually about some small unpleasant stuff he can do, so it's not, as I said before, someone big and someone who is really who's got big influence in the world or in the folk world. It's just some unpleasant character who represents evil, who represents demons and all that stuff, but usually he's mostly about some bad things, but not really giant, more about something local and unpleasant. And as I mentioned in one video, or maybe not even in one, I believe that for John Wick, Chort would be much more suitable name than Baba Yaga, which I'm going to explain further, because Chort, I think, firstly it's male, and Baba Yaga it's a hux, an old woman, old ugly woman, and I think Chort would be perfectly well, and it sounds better in context of, I mean, the word even sounds better than Baba Yaga, mostly when not Russian speakers trying to pronounce Baba Yaga. That sounds very funny, and I think Chort would be much better. The next character is, I think, the most kind character in ancient Russian folk traditions, because usually all the characters, they are bad or evil, but this character is more or less okay. His name is Domovoy, and I would translate it as housekeeper. In Russian language, dom means house, so Domovoy, that's someone referred to house, but the meaning is something like housekeeper. Usually it's a small character, again male. Usually it can be a young guy, but mostly an old granddad with a beard, with not really long, but this length hair, in small traditional Russian clothes and shoes. And this character keeps the house, takes care of house, and for the people who live in this house, it's necessary to have good relationships with Domovoy, with housekeeper. For example, leave some food for him, for example, a plate with the milk or something tasty, I don't know, because if you have a good relationships with housekeeper, then he helps you, he can take care of animals, of kids, clean or fix something. And if you have bad relationships, then he can do again some small bad stuff in the house, break something, or even kill animals in your yard, or even kill you while you are sleeping. Or also it was important that housekeepers usually live in villages, in a Russian hoods. We even had a book written, I think, in 20th century, and it was written there that that was a problem, that people are going to the cities and housekeepers they don't want to live in the flats, in the blocks of flats, because they are village characters and they have no place to live, because families leave their village houses, and that was so sad. Then let's talk about Baba Yaga. Who is that? Baba Yaga, it's, as I said, a hux, old ugly woman, a witch, with usually gray and inaccurate hair, dressed in some inaccurate dresses or scarves, and she lives in a hut in the forest, and this hut stands on chicken legs, and to get in her hut you need to talk with the hut and ask to turn to you with the front door. In other case you can't come in. Also this witch Baba Yaga, she can fly, and she flies in a big I don't know how to call it, muddler cup, where you grind spices actually. And to rule during the flight she uses a bench or branch, I forgot this word, so the thing to sweep the floor. Mostly that's a bad character, because she can stole the kids to eat them, or she can I don't know, eat some adult person. She can make some bad things to adult people who got lost in the forest and found her house, her hut. But sometimes she also can help someone. That depends on the story. And also she knows a lot about some herbs, how to cook some magic stuff, how to heal someone. So all these things, and if you are in good relationships with her, she can help you, or she can do something bad. The next character is Kashchei Besmertny. Besmertny means deathless. Kashchei, I think that's something from word kosti, which means bones, but I actually forgot to check what that means. And I think this figure is even closer to devil's figure in ancient Russian traditions, because this is the character who represents the idea of death itself. Yeah, that's not even about devil, that's about death. Firstly, this person is deathless. He hidden his death. He created it into needle, put it into an egg. The egg was into the duck, the duck was into the hair. The hair was in some box, and the box was in some very, very far island. So it was possible to kill this character, but you needed to find all this stuff, to find this needle. Usually it's a skeleton, I would say, with a long beard, with some even crown, maybe, yes, because he's like the king of the kingdom of death. And in fairy tales he could kidnap young brides, and grooms needed to find them and fight with Kashchei to save them. And I would say that that means that they saved them from death. And also I read that his death is into the egg, and egg represents the newborn and the life. So that's also why he represents the idea of death, that his death is inside the symbol of life. The next magical animal is very close to Western phoenix. Actually, I think they are absolutely the same, but in Russian language it's called Zhar-ptitsa. Zhar means heat and ptitsa means bird. It's a big firebird, which also can be kind and evil. For example, it can kidnap someone, but also it can take someone somewhere or bring something or heal someone like Phoenix does. So I think that's just similar characters, just with different names. The next character is very famous. It's called Zmey Gorynych. Zmey means snake or serpent. Gorynych, I read that it came from word горячий, so hot, or so it was connected with fire because this creature could breathe with the fire. The very important thing that this creature had usually 3 heads, and sometimes it could be more, 5 or 7, but usually 3. So it was like 3 dragon heads, big body, lion paws, or like something like lion's paws, again arrow-shaped tail, and it could fly, breathing with the fire, or it could live also in the water. And usually in fairy tales, the hero needed to fight with this Zmey Gorynych and cut his heads to kill him. Also, we have mermaids in our Russian traditions, but they are different from European mermaids. The most important difference that these mermaids don't have tail. They are usually young women, and it was claimed that mermaids are young dead women who were not married. We had a holiday. It's called Trinity. It's a religious holiday, and all the time the dates are a bit different according to religious calendar, but it's somewhere in the end of the spring and in the beginning of the June. And after the Trinity there was a mermaid week, when people believed that it's very easy to be killed with these mermaids, so they can wait you somewhere near the water or in the roads, and they want to get you. And also, if you was killed in the mermaid week, you also can become a mermaid. So usually they were described like pale, young, pale girls with long hair. They always said they can sing and talk with you and distract your attention, and then keep you and tickle you to death, for example. Sometimes people brought some food, usually brought salt or onion to them to make them kinder or something. So that's what the Russian mermaids are like. The next character is named Leshy. I think this word came from word les, which is forest in Russian. So it's a forest keeper. It's a bit scary character, I would say. Well, when I checked the picture, I think it looks a bit scary, and also if you are in the forest and you think about this character, I think it could be scary. Usually this character is represented as someone who can make you lose in the forest. For example, you got lost in the forest and you can see some figure somewhere in between the trees, and that's this Leshy. He can follow in you, he can watch in you, and also he can take, how to say it, he can become looking like some members of your family, your friends, and you will believe him, and you'll get even more lost in the forest. So usually when people got lost in the forests, so the villagers said that forest keeper took them. Also Leshy helps to animals, to trees, so helps to the forest, but he is dangerous to the people, and usually wandering in the forest is connected with Leshy, so he wanders in the forest, and people also wandering in the forest because of him, because he makes them wander and looking for the path, looking for the right road, and he changes it somehow, and all that stuff. The next character is like Leshy, but about water, about natural water pools or lakes, rivers, for example, all this stuff. It's called Vodyanoy. Voda is water in Russian, so Vodyanoy is like water keeper. The same way as Leshy, he helps to the water animals, water plants, but he is dangerous to people, mostly to people who work with water somehow. And this creature was described as, again, old man with a fish tail like European mermaids have got. And the last character is not really famous. I knew his name, and by his name I could guess what he is about, but I just found him quite not nice but interesting. It's again a negative character, which is called Kot Bayun. Kot means cat, and Bayun, I would translate it like lullaby, so lullaby cat. This is the cat with a very beautiful voice, very smart, and he finds some lonely travelers on the roads or in the forest, starts speaking with them or singing, and he speaks so much and distracts your attention, so you forget everything, and then he scratches you with his nails, how to call it, and so kills you, something like this. So again, it's also a negative character. Oh, and also I wanted to say, but I already told about him. It's a Russian Santa Claus, and I already told about him in the video about Russian Christmas and New Year's traditions. This Santa Claus is called Ded Moroz. Ded means granddad, and Moroz, frost. Also, we can translate it as grandfather frost, for example. Again, it's an old man with a long fur coat, usually red or blue, with a fur hat, and with I don't know how to call it. I'll write it in the video. And firstly, he was a creature, forest creature, who came to people who got lost in the forest in the winter and was freezing to death, and he kept them to him. But later he became like a Santa Claus, and now he's like giving presents to children. Children write letters to him, so like in Western countries. Also, he's got no family, but he got a granddaughter. Her name is Snegurochka. Sneg means snow, so it's like snowy or something. I would translate it like that. It's a young girl, blonde, with long plait, blue eyes, very beautiful, very funny, and all that stuff. So that's his only family member. That's it. I hope that this video was interesting for you. Thank you for watching, and пока-пока.